We have two new drugs that we can now use in heart failure. They're not, I don't know if they're available yet in Greece, but I assume they will be soon. These are ivabradine and sacubitril/valsartan. I was involved in the sacubitril/valsartan study, which was the Paradigm heart failure trial, and Paradigm heart failure showed that we reduced the composite endpoint of cardiovascular death or heart failure hospitalization by 20% in patients with heart failure with reduced ejection fraction. Very positive study, stopped early by the Data Safety Monitoring Board, and we've now been using this drug in the United States for about a year. Both the European and the US guidelines have given it a Class 1 indication. Ivabradine is a heart rate reducing agent that can be used in patients who have persistent elevation in heart rate despite being on a maximal dose of a beta blocker. So it's an exciting time because now we have multiple therapies that we can use, new therapies that we've added to our armamentarium in patients with heart failure.
Okay, and what are the symptoms that a patient might have in order for him to understand that he might have something like a heart failure?
Well, the symptoms of heart failure tend to be breathlessness, either at rest or on exertion. Patients with heart failure get edema or swelling in their legs. Patients can wake up short of breath in the middle of the night. Patients can require 2 or more pillows to sleep on because they have trouble lying flat. They can go to the hospital with severe breathlessness and because of chest pain as well. So these are all symptoms that if you have them, you should see your doctor.
And so how can we confront those symptoms? What can we do in order to not to have something like that?
Well, there are some very good medicines that we use for patients with heart failure. We use diuretics, which are water pills. We use ACE inhibitors and angiotensin receptor blockers, which we now expect to replace with this newer drug, sacubitril/valsartan. We use beta blockers, which are drugs that slow the heart rate, and we use mineralocorticoid receptor antagonists. And if the doctor uses these all properly, we can make a huge dent and improvement in the lives of patients with heart failure.